Alright gang, welcome back to our Skyefin Aquafarm series here on Kinlaig. It is May, and it is a very rainy May. Now it does say clouds are in the forecast and no more rain, so hopefully that rain lets up here soon, but we are beginning the process here of putting down the soybeans in the field that we created in the last episode, which is pretty exciting. We're also going to be doing a little bit more of our aquafarm type of stuff for our lake. We'll be moving some more fish over. And we do have, it looks like a pallet. I don't know if you can see it from here, but when we get back around to the other side, you will certainly be able to see it then. But we do have a pallet of fish that have already spawned for adult trout, so that's exciting. And we're underway getting the soybeans in the ground here, which is also equally exciting, right? One of the first steps for us to being able to start the process of creating our own fish food, which is one of our goals here. And in case you stumbled across this and are not aware of really what's happening, just bear with me for a minute while I kind of go through it. Basically what we're doing here is we bought an old abandoned aqua farm. And up until this point, and probably for the foreseeable future, we've been buying the fish food outright from the store. What our main goal here is to be able to be self-sufficient when it comes to producing and creating fish, specifically the trout and the salmon. Now, right now, or straight ahead of us, we have a lake that we've put down that can turn our young trout into adult trout. We don't have anything for the salmon yet, but that will be soon enough. Eventually, we will be doing the offshore farming, which will allow us to be able to do adult trout and adult salmon. But our main goal here is to be self-sufficient. What does that mean? Well, really, that means we have to be able to purchase on the map itself the production that allows us to create fish food. And then we have to be able to produce all of the resources that are required for that ourselves, right? Not going out and buying them directly. We have to actually produce it with our own fields and our own labor. And to do that, it's going to require a lot of things. It's going to require soybeans. It's going to require flour. And I forget what the other thing is right now off the top of my head. But anyway, there's multiple things that we have to do to be able to get to that stage. But before we can get to that stage, we've got to be able to buy that production. Now, that production itself is $300,000, a little over that, I think. So it's not cheap by any means. We were able to buy this land that we currently own right now, which is a fantastic amount of land here for us. It's got some sheds for us. It's got an area that could store, some crops and things, which is great. And then it had some land here where we after we removed a few sheds that we have now, repurposed to be turned into a field and into a trout lake, as you can see over there. You own that house over there too, which is pretty nice. So it was a big upgrade from the beginning of the series, for sure. At the beginning of the series, we literally only had our aqua farm. We didn't even own the land that was on it when we had first purchased it. We thought we owned that land, and it turns out we did not own that land. It is still owned by the city, so we weren't actually allowed to put anything down or anything of that nature, so that was a bit unfortunate for us. We were hoping that was going to be the case, so we could actually, have a little bit of a land for us. It didn't happen, so we had to kind of pivot quickly and find something that we could do or something that we could potentially buy in a shorter period of time that would allow us, to have our own land. And that is what we did here with this piece of property here. It's a really nice piece of property as well. It runs right next to the train, which I love trains in general, and it's got a nice old school train that is on the tracks that goes by every once in a while, and you will see it, I am sure, multiple times. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. I'm broken record here. I know I continue to say it. It's been going on for weeks. There goes the train, by the way. Nice little steam engine. I still am dealing with this lingering effects of this sickness. My wife now has the full-blown version of the sickness that I had a little over a week ago. Since then, I've felt much better, but the cough is still lingering. It won't go away. They basically have me on medicine that is, they didn't really define it as this, but they have me on medicine that is for pneumonia, basically. So. Yes, still something I'm dealing with, so if I have to do a random jump cut in the middle of a conversation and it may seem weird, that's the reason why. So, I haven't had to do it too much, knock on wood. I don't know, there's some wood right here, knock on wood. But, yeah, just in case I do, I always like to make sure I give you the the heads up, I guess is how I should put it. Now, this planter that we're utilizing here, not the largest planter in the world, not the widest planter in the world, is very small, as a matter of fact. But that's going to be okay for the time being. We don't really have a ton of money right now anyway, right? In the field that we're doing, or we're planting, drilling, whatever, right now, it's not the largest field in the world, right? It's relatively a small field, so it's not a big deal to have such a small planter right now, I guess is how I should put it. Eventually, that's not going to be the case. Eventually, we're definitely going to want to upgrade because we're going to need, a lot more of this. But for the time being, it is perfectly fine. One field, not going to kill us, right? Now, the reason why I'm doing soybeans right now is, well, a couple of reasons. One, soybeans make us probably the most money. Does take longer for them to be ready, right? I could do sorghum or something like that, which would be probably a little bit sooner. Well, typically it would be a little bit sooner. But we're going to go soybeans, the soybean route. We will find enough to do elsewise. Contracts and things like that are allowed, so... So yeah, we're almost done here with the headland passes. I think we're doing 4 headland passes here, I think. And then we'll be ready to do our more traditional up and downs. Now, I want to see, I didn't look, I want to see, is there any fish that have spawned here now that we have adult fish? No, there's not. See, that's the thing I don't like. I wish that fish were swimming around in there. It's just a little unfortunate that they're not. So here's our pallet of adult fish, 2,000 adult fish. We still have fish food in here. We still have trout in here, so it's still making trout for us. It's not the fastest process in the world. We still have plenty of fish food in our young fish breeding Skyefin Aquafarm as well. So things are going well on both areas, really. But today we will be doing a little bit more work towards all of that. And what I mean by that is we will be moving some more trout up here. We'll probably be selling the salmon outright. We just need... we've got $44,000, which is decent, right? But... we'll probably be selling those anyway, just to make ourselves a little bit more money. Hopefully we'll be able to buy a few more things that we're going to need. Eventually, we're going to need some kind of a harvester of some sort for doing this field alone. And speaking of that, I think I talked about this in the last episode. I didn't do it yet. I'm going to see if I can soften this up a little bit. There's a pretty, you can kind of see it if I go down to this angle. There's a pretty big, I guess, hole, I guess is what we should call it. Right here, so if I can try to smooth that out a little bit and make it so it's not such a drastic change here for the drill and eventually the harvester more than anything, probably be smart. I know I'm wasting a lot of money doing this, but it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, I think that's better. It's still there, but it's not anywhere near what it was. Looks like that might be the road up there. I think I talked about that recently, but I'm still... I need to drive up there probably, I guess, and see if we can see our land down here from up there or not. It looks like the road to me. Heck, maybe eventually a car will drive by up there. Maybe one did in the last episode and I forgot about it. I don't know. It's been a couple of days. I don't know. I don't think it did. I don't think it did. So maybe it's too far away that you can't see any cars or anything drive by, but... I'm going to keep looking up there. Maybe eventually we'll see one or something up there, and that'll confirm our suspicion that that is a... okay, the rain has stopped finally. It does look like we have... then that train goes by so much. It's crazy. It does look like we have another headland pass here to do, so we're going to do that. I just want to, keep that tradition going there. Now, the thing here about this... that tradition. Keep that tradition. You know what I meant. Keep that tradition. I want to keep... to what it wants me to do as far as the headland passes go, right? I was going to say in case we need to put it on a worker, but the odds are we're not going to be doing that. We literally only have this tractor. We don't have another one, at least not at the time being. So there's not really going to be a whole lot for us to do besides, what we can do with this tractor. So, putting this on a worker really wouldn't do a whole lot for us, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. We have no way to go and do anything else, unless it's a contract, of course. Used market, is there anything out there for us? Not really. This fertilizer spreader is pretty sweet, but what it's required is outrageously expensive. This is a really good deal, but we're not going to be doing those in this series. That's not really the goal of this series. The goal of this series is really just the continuation of Zorch's story, and this one kind of, obviously, is a little bit more of a made-up story for Zorch, but nonetheless, that is really the main goal of it. Now, if you want to see a little bit more about Zorch's real-life story, there is a series that this was the follow-up to, that actually has quite a bit, if not all of it, was realistic in the sense of kind of things that happened in my life. So if you're interested in that, there is that story, which is the Barker Family Farm series, so I would check that out if you haven't done so already. Hopefully everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. I know I probably said that a couple of times in the previous episodes leading up to this one, but yeah, unfortunately ours, we were able to do Thanksgiving with my wife's family before my wife got, what I got. It came down with what I got, but we weren't able to do it with my family, so a little unfortunate there, but that's okay. Oh, look, there's a car up there. There's a bus up there. There is a road. I knew that was the road. I probably could have looked at the map, and it probably would have told me that that's the road. Yeah, but, whatever. What else? What else can we talk about today? I don't really think I have anything else. Probably need to put lime down on here. We do have precision farming on, so we probably are going to have to get some lime, which we don't have. What I would like to do is put down some kind of a buying point here on our farm. I think that would be extremely helpful for us. Not that the actual shop is tremendously far away. It's not, but it is still a drive. So having something a little bit closer here probably would be smart. There goes another bus. How much is this field? Oh, pretty expensive. $208,000. Okay, so yeah, we won't be able to afford that anytime soon. That's unfortunate. I was hoping we might be able to buy, another one of these fields here coming up. But yeah, that's just simply not going to be able to happen. That's okay. Eventually we'll get there. We will. Even selling some of the salmon today, and maybe even selling the adult trout. Speaking of that, I don't know when or what the best time is for the adult trout. And I'm going to say this again, and I've said this so many times, it's until I'm blue in the face. Us on console don't have it as easy as everyone else when it comes to scrolling through this. I would love for Giants to actually watch a video of mine or listen to somebody who has way more brass, I guess, in the console community. Give us the ability to favorite things so they're at the very, very top of this. So I don't have to scroll as far. I mean, I have to scroll an eternity just to get to stuff. So the trout actually is not a bad price. $2,415 at the best. We might be selling that box of trout or that pallet of trout today, gang. That might be something we do. Now, I think the biggest problem we're going to have specifically between this, this area here and where our aqua farm is we're going to have to move that forklift back and forth. That is really the only other piece of equipment that we currently own that can be driven, at least, is our forklift, which is currently housed and staying at the Skyefin Aquafarm. So we probably should look to potentially do that. Or buy another forklift, I guess, or a skid steer or something. Maybe I could buy... I don't remember if this has a front loader attachment on it or not. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I've already forgot. I don't know. But perhaps we could do something like that with the tractor too, right? Give it a front loader. That would help at least for this area up here, so I don't have to drive the forklift back and forth. Now, a lot of people could say, why don't you just use the liftable bale and pallet, mod and pick it up? I could do that. You're right, I could. I am trying not to do that. If I have to do it, then that is one thing, right? If there's some issue or get stuck or things just keep falling and, it's just causing mayhem, then yeah, fine, I'll do that, quickly. But really, I want to do it the old-fashioned way, if you will. It's just my personal preference to do it that way. Seems a little too cheaty when you go the other way, and having said that, I'm fully aware in some series that I've done that before, especially like the auto load of bales and things like that. I'm fully aware of that, 100% aware of that. Doesn't mean I'm not really specifically trying to not, you know, do it the old-fashioned way. Just sometimes when there's just so much that you have to do, it is easier just to go that route, especially if you're at a situation where your episodes are already going to be super long. It is just easier to do that. But early on, right now, not a problem. It's not a big problem. All right, but we don't have much left to do here. I would say we're around 3/4 of the way done here. So we're going to get to work. We're going to get the rest of this done. And then we will see where we are as far as getting things loaded up. More than likely, I will load up all of the pallets as well. And then I'll be back with you. We'll drop off some of the trout here at the lake, and we'll kind of move from there. All right, we're pulling up here, gang. We actually still have some trout on here. We had plenty of trout in the lake, and really we're not going to put another one in right now for the time being. Maybe soon we will, but for now we're not going to do that. So we're just going to sell these outright and see what kind of money we get. We're getting a lot of money, actually. Holy smokes, that is a ton of money. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right, well, there you go. I did not pick up that pallet of adult trout right now. I think I'm going to change my mind a little bit on that from what I said. Excuse me, from what I said at the beginning of the episode. More so, sorry, gang. My throat's hurting me. I apologize. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, are we going to go here, red car? Or are we just going to sit here? Scarlet over here causing issues once again. Anyway, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to keep the trout until it's the best time to sell them. I think that's our best approach, honestly. So I'm going to get back up to the yard here, and we'll kind of take it from there. As a matter of fact, we might want to buy some more fish food at the time. We might go to the shop. We might need more fish food. Let me think about this. Yeah, we're going to buy some more fish food, gang. We also probably need to consider some lime, etc. for... we can also pick up these seeds while we're at it as well. But we also probably need to consider, purchasing some more details about our field, because we haven't done that yet. We do have precision farming on. I don't think I've ever mentioned that, but we do. So let's see. Can we purchase more about... I don't know if we can. I don't know if it'll let us or not. Hopefully we can. Yeah, purchase soil information. So let's do that. Okay. So now we know we've got 46% sandy loam and 50% loam. I'm going to jump to here really quick. pH value is okay. Nitrogen is perfect, so we don't need any more nitrogen. I kind of expected that. At least right now we don't need any more nitrogen. Good expected yield, good yield potential, but we should get this pH value up a little bit. It's not terrible, but we definitely should get this up. Now, the actual spreader that we have, I believe it can do lime in it. Let me just make sure that that is a true statement. It can. So, I think what we're going to do is a lot of this money we just made, we're going to be spending here almost immediately, but that's okay. So we're going to buy some lime. I'm going to buy... Oh, we know we need a ton of lime. Even if we don't utilize it all right now, we know we're going to need it. I'm going to buy 16 bags of lime, which is insane. I understand that. It cost a lot of money, but it was worth it. And then we're going to buy... I don't think we need a full amount of the fish food like we've been buying, but... you know, it's probably good for us to keep some extra on hand, so that way we don't have to constantly keep coming up here to the shop. That's what we've been doing almost constantly, and now that we're actually making a little bit of money every month, it might be good for us to be able to, you know, fit just having a bunch of it right there to deal with, if that makes sense. We don't have to drive all the way down here. So we're going to do that. It still means that even with purchasing all of that, which we will get more money for in the long run, we still... did make some money today, which is good. We got more money than we started with, I guess is how I should put that. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to get all of this in one trip, but that's okay. I mean, eventually we're going to come back down this way again when it comes to selling stuff, so we can just kind of keep coming here and, you know, filling up the trailer whenever we can with whatever we can, right? I still think I'm going to potentially put down some kind of a buying silo of some sort. That is still on my mind to do and that I want to do. Evidently, I can't pick that one up. That's weird. Why can't I pick that one up? Why could I pick this one up but not that one? I did move one of those pallets before with my hand during that time lapse. I apologize for that. I'm going to do it here as well. But that's the reason why I have that on, is in case there's a situation like this where I need to, or that I want to. I have that luxury of being able to do so, if that makes sense. Alright, well, you know what? We're just going to take 2 then for now. It's not allowing me to pick up... I mean, it did let me pick up that 3 that one time, but it's not easily allowing me to pick up more than 2, so we'll just take 2 and stack them and go about it this way, I guess. So we bought a lot of stuff here, right? And we're going to need to make a couple of trips here to get it all up here. Really what I'd like to do is, if I can make 2 trips here and get a decent amount of lime, probably enough lime, hopefully, to be able to cover the field, and then a little bit more of the fish food, even though we're still, you know, operating. You know, the more I put into that aquafarm, the higher yield we get. So the better it will be for us, I guess is how I should put it. So if I can make a second trip and get all of that, plus maybe a little bit more lime or something, then I think I'll be pretty happy. Honestly, I think if I can get 8 limes up there right now, I think I'll be pretty happy, but it's going to be probably pretty difficult. I know when you try to stack these on top of each other, things just don't seem to work out very well. They often cause issues, right? Oh, this is going to be a disaster already. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Alright, well, this is why I have this on, so I can move these things quickly if I need to. Okay, we're going to try to put a few up on top here. I don't know how it's going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. My tractor has gotten extremely dirty in the small period of time we've utilized it in the dirt. We're going to have to fit some kind of a power washer of some sort to help clean that off, I think, here soon. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can make this work. Yeah, they're falling on top of each other. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's going to work. It's going to work. It'll do the trick. $52,377. We should look at what I was talking about earlier on in the episode, at another forklift or a wheel loader or skid steer or something, whatever it may be. We should look at something potentially to utilize here to help us and add one to the farm. That way, if I need to take these off, which I suspect I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to use all 8 of them on that small field. I could be wrong, though. Lime is, you run out of lime quickly, I guess is how I should put it. Somehow they stayed on there. I'm not really sure how, but we're not going to ask. We're not worried about it. I'm going to tempt fate here a bit. I'm going to try to grab these 2 and see if I can put them on the back there. I might even be able to get... no, I couldn't get 4. Well, I might. If I stack them on top of each other, I might be able to get 4. Let's just see if they'll actually even go on top of the back of the trailer here. I'm going to need to move the trailer, but... might not be the smartest idea I've ever had, but, you know, we're going to go for it anyway. Hey, it worked. We'll take it. I'm going to attempt 2 more. Why not? If we do that, I feel pretty confident that we can probably leave these here until we're back up in this area again. This ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. They're gonna fall off. I can already see it. Oh my gosh, they stayed on. No way. No way they stayed on. I could probably get more on there if I wanted to. There's no way those stayed on there. Wow. Okay. I'm not gonna tempt fate anymore. That's pretty much as impressive as we're going to get. So. Oh. Nope. Turn the music off. I don't want any music on. I don't want to get copyrighted. No music. Just try and turn the beacons off. Or the beacon. Oh, there it goes. See, that's what I was afraid of. They're not actually on there. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, well. I can't move it by hand, so we're just going to leave it there for right now. We'll come get it later. Hopefully that other one is actually strapped on there. I feel like it is, because I feel like that one would have came off already as well. But I guess we'll find out when we go around this corner. That's really going to be the tale if it's actually strapped down or not. It's on there. Alright, that's good. I'll see you back at the farm. Alright, we're pulling back up here. I'm going to drop off some fish food here in the lake first off. Maybe. Do I need to unhook it? I didn't for everything else, so I thought maybe I wouldn't need to. Guess I did need to unhook it. There you go, because it just accepted it all, so... Weird. Sometimes they do, sometimes you don't. I know, it's really weird. Anyway. So what am I going to do here? Well, we could turn the beacons off first off. I'm going to leave this right here, and what we're going to do is we are just going to come up here and take the lime off. Whoa, whoa. Okay. That is not how I expected that to go. I'm gonna try to be a little sneaky here. Yeah, look at that. Sometimes my genius in my best Jeremy Clarkson voice. So what we're going to do is just kind of, you know, attempt to come over here and fill up the lime directly from the trailer. And, you know, just go at that approach. Like I said, I don't expect that we're going to need the entirety of all of the lime that I brought up here. And if we don't, we don't. But we bought it because we're going to utilize it eventually anyway, so why not, right? Why not? Yeah, we're not going to need anywhere near that. We're not going to need anywhere near the amount of lime that I purchased, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to utilize it. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. You know what? I didn't check. Let's do a quick autosave. I didn't check. I should. I didn't. I didn't have automatic application rate on. So I probably wasn't putting down as much as I should have been, and that's why we have so much. Because we want this to try to get as good, you know, of a good as of a level as we can. You know what? So we'll just go through it again. See, it's not going to spit anything out unless it thinks it needs it, but we're going to probably put a little bit more down now than we were, and that's fine. I guess the other good thing about all the lime we purchased, right, is if we come across a contract where we're doing lime for some reason, we've got plenty of it, so we can feel confident to go ahead and utilize it. And also could be that portion we were in is fine on lime because we do have two different types of loam, right? We've got sandy loam and regular loam on that field. Definitely could have just got by with 2 or 3 pallets, and that would have been more than plenty. We were not even going to utilize 1.5. Whoa! Well, that was a mistake by me. Come on, come on, come on. Uh-oh. Whew. That lime is ruined. That lime is ruined. Whoops. I'm gonna have to be careful of that. Was not paying attention to where I was doing in front of me because I thought it was gonna be perfectly fine. Alright, it's putting down more lime here, so we're gonna go over this one more time just to make sure that we get it to the highest level as we possibly can, especially since we have so much of it. Yeah, so it's not letting me put anything else down in this area here, which, that's fine. At least we know, right? Can't hurt to go across this one more time like this. We want to get as much as humanly possible out of this tiny little field we have here. So, I'm okay spending the extra time and effort here, going over it a couple of times just to make sure we're actually accomplishing that goal. Alright, I think we're good, gang. I'm going to do one more. I gave the neighbor a little bit of lime as well, but I'm going to do one more right here. But I think we're good. Yeah, our target's been reached. We're as good as we possibly can have this field at this point. Alright. I'm going to try to fill up some more of this lime out of these boxes here. Because why not? Because they're going to be kind of stuck on there for the time being anyway. Alright, these are going to fall as soon as I let go of this. So, the smart thing for us to do would be to drive this down to the aqua farm, unload the rest of the fish food in there, and then utilize the forklift to try to restack these. That's going to be the smartest play. Alright, we are pulling up here. As I get close enough, it should accept it. Alright, they all stayed on there somehow. Miracle. But they did. So, I'm going to leave them on there then, and I'm just going to drive them back up to the yard, and then I'm going to pick up the forklift, I suppose? Okay, really, Byron? Really? Really, buddy? Okay. Chick Byron? Really? Really? Byron. Drive! Go! Where's your problem? Another one. Oh, they're taunting me. If you don't know what I'm complaining about, so well, I guess it's been a couple of years now at this point, not many years. Early on, when I first started doing Farming Simulator recordings on this channel, I created a channel for Farming Simulator. We were doing Crustu, my friend Crustu, who is a part of the current competitive one-tile challenge that we got running on the series, which, shameless plug, if you haven't watched that, go check it out. Anyway, he's the one that really got me into doing recordings for Farming Simulator, and he had a challenge called the 200 horsepower challenge, and I took on that, and in that challenge, it was on Calmlands, and there were many cars in Calmlands that decided just to sabotage me, as I'm going to call it. Byron, Walter, Scarlet were the three biggest culprits for me. All of those names, with the exception of Walter, excuse me, with the exception of Walter, all three of those names were named by you, my viewers. Specifically, Northern Farm Sim, who's a friend of the channel. He named the black car Byron. So, Byron's probably the worst offender for me, and Walter is right up there with him, and Scarlet is very, very close behind. Sometimes Scarlet's even worse than the other two. But anyway, they always seem to cause issues, just like you just saw there for me. It's just par for the course there that we all would have a Byron encounter this early on in a new series. But anyway, we have accomplished the main goals that I set out to do today. We've got more at the shop we need to pick up. We've got some more stuff to accomplish as we move along. We do have $52,000 in the bank, which is fantastic. The money should continue to pour in more and more as we get closer to the amount of time when we can actually sell the adult trout. That's going to make us a lot of money. The reason why we made so much money is because we had quite a few of those pallets were all salmon. Salmon makes us more money than the trout does. So turning the trout into adult trout is obviously going to get us a little bit closer to the price of the salmon, which is going to be super nice. But that's why we made so much money there. But anyway, we're going to leave the episode at that point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and you have yet to do so, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button for me. They're free. They help me a ton. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support. I'll see you next time.